You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Ian Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV's Gossip Girl After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Gossip Girl After Show.
No, follow my lead. AfterBuzzers! Bing is for doing, and we are here doing another AfterBuzz TV After Show for Gossip Girl, Season 6, the final season, Episode 9, the second to last episode, my personal last episode in studio ever for Gossip Girl.
Not unacceptable.
But before we do anything else, I'm Roxy Striar, along with Sara Stretton.
Hello.
And Jessica King.
Hey, hey.
And we are so lucky to be joined by Phil.
Hello, everybody.
Okay, again, in the house.
Raise the roof. Is that
Where's the
why we
music,
were
Steven?
clapping?
Yeah.
Is that why we were clapping?
That's why we were clapping.
Wait, why were we clapping? I liked the
Gossip
clapping.
Girl.
We love Phil.
Oh.
And Gossip Girl.
And Gossip Girl.
Can you just
We like
give
Phil
us
and Gossip Girl together?
one XO,
Yes,
or,
exactly.
Give us an
XOXO.
There you go.
XO.
I think Phil is Gossip Girl.
XO. Okay, so that's a good one.
Maybe.
Are you? We should do an AfterBuzz Gossip Girl and just post out everybody's intimate secrets that they tell you. Because we did just have the holiday party where everybody was drunk, and I bet people were coming up to you all night being like, I really shot somebody 4 years ago.
And Phil
That's
already
right.
claims that he knows everything.
I do know everything.
It's
But
possible.
I can't wait till we talk about who we think Gossip Girl is, because you guys just dropped the bomb on me.
I know, we know.
You dropped the bomb.
I mean, I texted Jessica at 2:30 in the morning
And I was awake and texted her back.
and called Sarah. Did not respond to
Wait,
me.
is this confirmed? Or is this a
no,
theory?
but we'll talk about it during predictions.
It's a very good theory.
It
I
is a
like
good
it.
theory.
So
It is a
stay,
good
stay
Especially
tuned.
after seeing next week's previews.
Remember last week we tried to do a rewind sound and I couldn't do it?
No, I wasn't here last week.
There we go.
No.
All right, y'all sound
Anyway.
like dead seals. Let's just move on.
Oh, snap!
Oh, snap!
Oh, snap! Okay, so let's talk about my #1 scheming girl. What up, Blair Waldorf? Okay, but seriously, tonight, she rounded the troops and was like, yo, I'm gonna get #1, #2, #3, #4 schemers, and I'm #5, but really she's #1. And she's like, you, Serena, and you, Ivy, and you, Georgina, and somebody help me.
Sage.
And you, Sage.
All
And
for
it was
different
very sweet.
all for different reasons. She
Right.
highlighted what they were all good at.
So what was that?
Let's see. Serena was good at playing dumb. That was my favorite one. She's like, you're really good at pretending to play dumb. Sage was good at, I forget, not
Something about her generation, maybe. I don't know.
like not caring or oh, it was like she had issues with adults. And do you remember this at all?
No,
I don't remember this
She had
part
like
either.
issues with adults.
Maybe this was
and,
your
like, wanted-
subconscious. Just
No,
like telling
this
you.
happened. I was just paying closer attention.
Serious
to all
attention.
Of you. Serious attention to what they all brought into the situation.
Sarah watches Gossip Girl while she drives.
Yeah, that's a lot of
While she
close
drives,
attention.
she puts the computer in her car
That is not true.
and watches it in the car.
No, one time I put the computer in the car and I listened to
That's
it.
got to be safe driving tips right there.
I did not watch it, but I listened to it.
We're going to get far in today's episode with this kind of
Yeah,
action.
anyway, okay, so Blair rounds the troops and she's like, yo, we got to take down Bart Bass. The common enemy brings everybody together. It's like how everybody hated, what is it, Sparta? No, Sparta and Athens joined together to beat
Troy?
Troy, maybe. I don't know.
Sparta. I was like, is that a new character in the show?
No, you guys know what I'm talking about? In the Peruvian War.
Roxy, I just stopped.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
Roxy is good at playing the dumb one.
Yeah, Roxy is Serena.
Don't ever call me that again. Ow. Wow. That gave me actual pains in my stomach. So anyway,
I did like this culmination
Yeah, it
of
was
bringing them
actually-
all together, and they all looked fabulous.
finally, for once, I was like, you're doing something right, writers, because you guys all need to join together. Otherwise, I just hate all the hatred, and we need them to join together to take down Bart, because Bart needed to go. And
But I thought
he
it was
did.
weird that, I mean, you can't hate someone so much and then all of a sudden, like, everyone comes and works together for the common cause. I just thought that was kind of odd to me.
Is it the Persian Wars?
See, I guess in my head, I was just like, well, it's the second to last episode. I like this coming together and all, like, ganging up. And
I
like,
could understand Georgina because she's always in and out and everyone always hates her no matter what, but still tolerates her. But having Charlie Ivy there after like everything and, you know, supposedly Blair and Serena just like despise her. And then for this one thing, they're like, okay, we need your help. And you're
Yeah,
going
but
to
they
help.
won't be friends
I was
after.
expecting Jenny.
Athens and Sparta, guys. You're
They-
missing the big picture.
They will not be friends afterwards.
Yeah, but Charlie Ivy was so like, she didn't ask any questions. Like, she was just like so quick to oblige to what they wanted and to help them and to do whatever, you know.
But that's because she has this other motivation of William, and she wants to be better friends with Serena because of him. So she has to like play along because of this underlining tone of love.
Even though they were being so bitchy to her, like, you're gonna call Bart, you're gonna answer that, you're gonna meet me here. It was, I don't know.
Okay, whatever, whether we wanted her there or not, she was there. And the way it executed itself was brilliant, I thought. So she had each person doing something different. First, Serena came in and
pointed out the slideshow.
pointed out the slideshow. And then Charlie Ivy had that flyer thing. And then Sage was calling, and it was really from Bruce,
The dead guy.
whatever his name was, Bruce
Springsteen.
Yes.
No.
Yes, that's what it was. Kaplan. Bruce Kaplan. I was gonna make a joke, but anyway. So Bruce Kaplan's calling, and then what did
She had like the envelope with, or
Oh,
like
the
with its
envelope.
insignia. Or
right with the
whatever.
insignia? Charlie Ivy had that. So
No, and then Georgina had like the program.
right,
with his
Georgina had the
picture on it.
program. So everybody was doing their part until finally he pulls aside Blair, and is like, Blair. No, you can't do this. But we need to go back, actually, because early in the episode, he kidnaps Blair
Yes.
and takes her in the car and tells Chuck that he's going to, like, kill her, basically. Is that what happened?
He blackmailed Chuck. So he told Chuck that if he didn't leave to Moscow forever, that he was going to kill Blair and not let Nate out of jail.
Right. But then that doesn't happen because Chuck goes to Moscow on the plane and everything else is all fine and dandy, I suppose. Except not at all. So they're scheming and Blair's trying to do her thing. And meanwhile, all of a sudden, we've got this big thing where Dan has now become BFF with Bart and needs Bart to sponsor him
For his apartment?
for his apartment.
Yeah.
In exchange for a lovely piece on Bart's character. Correct?
Because profiles are his specialty.
Of course.
But obviously we know something's up because Dan isn't all that bad. Dan is all that bad. Lonely boy, you are Dan, or used to be. So. Well, you always say you used to be lonely boy. Now you're not because you're super Phil. But like
That's right.
back in the day when you were lonely boy.
So what's the question?
So are you feeling empathetic for him? Like everybody's hating on him, but really he's a good guy? Or do you see right past that and he's just an asshole?
He's
I think-
delusional.
So what's the question?
I think he may think that he's a good guy, and ultimately every decision that he's making makes him believe that he's a good guy, but the actions that he is actually taking make him an asshole.
I would say that he's delusional.
There you go.
Dan's
That's a
like,
good word.
Yeah, Dan's just delusional. Like he has this all played out in his head that
Okay, the line that he says, like, hey, I did what I did because, you know, the only way to kind of prove to Serena that I would be the one or whatever is that I need to be above her. Like, who says that? What kind of a line is that?
He says he needs to be her equal.
Because he's always been like the poorer, not as popular, lonelier boy. And so it's time for him to stand up and steak is
Okay,
great.
but that's not how you're gonna win Serena.
Jessica, why are you so in love with Dan?
I just love Dan.
What?
I
Though,
do.
like, give me something.
I don't know. Just I always have since day one. I mean, I totally agree, and I get it that these past 2 seasons, he's changed and he's definitely stooped a little too low. But I don't know. My heart is still with him.
He's very self-loathing.
No, I actually kind of like him too, but he's just pissing me off. It's like you're saying, if you do bad things, you aren't just a good person. Like, if you think what you're doing is right, but enough bad things make you a bad person.
Exactly. I think it's like
Yes.
your actions that, like, I feel like no one really goes into this. Like, Bart isn't sitting there being like, I'm going to be the worst person on the planet. He's just like,
Because Bart is man of the year.
Yeah. He thinks he, like, deserves this.
What kind
But
of
he's still a
award-
bad person.
What is man of the year? Do we have that?
How is he man of the year when he's only been alive for like the past couple months of the
He's
year?
done so much in that couple months.
I mean, I guess if you can come back from being dead, you certainly should be man of the year.
Like Magic Man of the Year.
That's
Jeez.
totally valid.
And the fact that he's even talking with Bart when everyone hates Bart is enough to say, okay, you're an asshole.
But
know
was
what I
that planned from the beginning, from his camaraderie with Chuck?
I mean, who else would he have gotten? Because everyone else hates him right now. So he didn't
Lily?
really have.
Fair enough. That's when you just say, hey, you know what? I'm just going to cut my losses.
And not
Then he wouldn't get an apartment
move anywhere.
I mean, that's ultimately he's about like, hey, you know what? I can't win anyway. I can't be with the society, whatever. So you know what? Don't be with that society. And yet he's continually trying to get in.
We finally learned tonight for the first time that his book was called Inside Out. Did that go right over my head the first few times? Because,
The sequel.
yeah, it was Inside, and then the second one was Inside Out.
That's what she said.
I don't think they ever mentioned it.
Did she say it was Inside Out? Because then you better check your shit. Like, oh, that's Inside Out. Ha ha ha.
Very good, Roxy.
Okay. Anyway, so
Great job.
who else came for Blair to the party was Iman, who was like, I know what you did to my horses. Why did she talk like
Horse.
that? She didn't, to my horse.
To Lady, what was her
My
name?
Lady
Lady Alexander.
I mean, I guess they're just trying to tie in all these characters, but like, really, Iman? Like, where are you coming from?
Yeah, that went nowhere. Like that whole part of the story tonight or last night.
I think they were just all supposed to be little aspects to throw Bart over the edge. And I guess it worked, being that he cornered his son on a rooftop.
Except it didn't
Didn't work because he died.
You spoiled the episode. What if
I was wondering when we get to talk about
What
that.
if I didn't watch it? What the hell?
Then you're
wouldn't be
listening to the
hosting.
wrong podcast.
Yeah.
Okay, no, but
I
we
mean,
can't.
technically, was it Blair that threw him over the edge, or was it Chuck?
Well, okay, we'll talk about it in a minute, guys.
Sorry.
First, I want to talk about Nate because we haven't touched about him yet. He's a big deal tonight, and I love him more than I love Dion. Okay. So anyway,
Calm down.
I know I'm getting really antsy tonight because my last one in this, and like I kind of feel like crying. So if I don't talk quick enough, the tears will come.
We'll let you cry at the end. How about that? Just don't cry right now.
So Nate is in jail because he's really a double agent playing triple agent, playing quadruple agent. Yeah, something like that.
Playing both sides.
And he is arrested for fraud. Then his dad is called by Sage.
Random.
Where was his dad?
Yeah,
this
I thought he was
whole
still in jail or
time?
something.
I thought he was in jail too. And he's like, Nate, you always stood by me. But did he?
Nate walked away when he got busted and went to his mom's side.
They need reasons for people to move the plot forward and the storyline to go forward. So I feel like they just forget what they've already written.
But do they really think that we're gonna forget? Like the viewers are just gonna forget all the seasons that we've watched and everything that's gone down thus far?
they just hope we're gonna be
Just go along with
understanding,
it.
give them the benefit of the doubt, I guess.
Crazy.
That's your credit, because we smarter than that, yo.
Right. It's crazy.
Right?
They just want
They're like, no, we're not. We're really not. I know. So anyway, though, Nate's now out of jail. That wasn't too hard, I guess.
How did he get out of jail?
I mean,
I'm
for
so
Bart to be like,
confused.
no one can get him out of jail except for
Because
me,
once-
and then all of a sudden his dad gets him out
No,
of jail.
no, guys. Once Chuck got on the plane, Bart let Blair go and let Nate out of jail.
Over my head.
Yeah, I didn't get that either. I was so confused when Nate showed up.
I'm just wicked smart, yo.
I've got 3 Serenas here.
Whatever.
That's
You're
when
like,
I get to throw something, right?
oh my God, we're Serena and you're Lonely Boy.
There.
Maybe we'll be together. So I heard they got pinned. Yeah.
Bye Bye Birdie
Okay.
reference.
Oh my God, I put my water on my notes and they bled.
Anyway, Nate is just at the party.
I love how before
because-
the show started, Roxy's like, oh my gosh, I really need to wake up. And then all of a sudden, she's like, ah!
It just gets me going. It's productive. It gets the people going. What song is that? Anyway, so then we've got Nate. He's out of jail. Him and his dad are like, yo, Bart, what's good, yo? And Bart's like, I can have you arrested again, and you guys are freaks. And they're like, we're going to bring you down. How much? And he's like, $1 million. And they're like, done. And he's like, just kidding.
Can we go back to a moment, though?
What good dialogue. Like, what the fuck?
I know, what the fuck. How about, I actually did like the moment between Nate and the father when they were talking, and Nate actually admits, like, hey, it is actually my fault. That actually was a good moment.
Accountability.
What's that?
I said accountability.
Accountability.
Because his dad never admitted his faults.
There you go.
Yeah,
So just-
yeah, sure.
So as much as they make bad decisions, he
But like, also, how about when Bart, even though he was kidding, when he was like $1 million, and they were like done. I mean, aren't they both broke? I mean, they
have people who will help
Theatricals.
them, and maybe the dad's rich again. And the
you never know.
mom.
Who knows where he's been?
Yeah.
He's just been making
Grandpa.
millions.
he's just been out of jail making millions again.
Something I want to touch upon before I forget, briefly though. So Serena moving to LA, the possibility of it. Are they
And
just,
not telling anyone.
they're just throwing it in so that we can save it? I really liked Blair's line. She says, reinvention is for starlets who want to be you. Yeah, it is. I mean, guys, as the Serenas of the night.
I take that very
I-
way.
No,
I love it.
I love it. It's like, oh no, I don't love being called the Serena. I love the line. Yeah, no, being called the Serena is like my worst nightmare, considering I'm just so totally Blair. Duh.
Continue with your line, please.
Really, something's wrong with me tonight. Like, oh my God. Anyway, so that was a great line, and I completely agree. Reinvention is for people who need to be reinvented. And although I happen to think Serena does need to be reinvented, her best friend does not, and that is very sweet. And now they're BFF again, so that's totally rad.
I think the LA move is like super random. I remember, what was it, last season when she was totally into LA doing like the movie stuff, but it hasn't been mentioned since then. And I honestly think it's a way to keep even though the show is ending, to keep it open-ended in case, you know, a movie or something comes of it. I don't know. I
was
just think
reading-
it's really weird.
I was reading, and it's not in our news and gossip, so I'll decide to share it now. But speaking of things that could come of it, going back, things that it was supposed to be. So I don't know why I never heard this, but I read that originally attached to the Gossip Girl books, they first were going to make it into a movie. They were going to go straight to being a movie, and attached to the project was Lindsay Lohan.
Ugh.
Bizarre, right?
That probably
she
would have,
be?
maybe it would have
And
saved her.
She didn't say which one. It was right after her Mean Girls appearance.
Yeah.
Not appearance, star. And she won't say who she was supposed to be cast as, but what do we think?
She'd probably be Serena.
I kind of more picture her as Blair.
Really?
I picture her as nothing.
Sage.
Lil J.
No, what a
Lil J.
Little J.
We can all agree not Vanessa. She would make the worst.
Yeah.
Vanessa.
Totally. Lily.
Lily. Yeah. Cece. Totally. Charlie Ivy. Let's just name all the female characters. Oh, she could have been a male too.
Okay, fine. She could be Eric.
Anyway, though, so we do know they're all coming back. Not Lindsay Lohan, but the rest of them.
Mm-hmm.
But I just thought that was interesting. But
When
yeah,
are they coming back? They're all coming back next week.
for the wedding, whatever
The
wedding that may
wedding.
be. I felt like we were about to play a song, but it was not.
No.
I like pause. I'm like, ooh. what's
Gossip
going-
Girl, we have a caller if you want to take one.
Yes.
Yay.
we would. What is your name and where are you from?
Is this Sarah?
It's just Susie.
Or Susie, sorry.
Susie.
love Susie.
Hi. Oh my gosh.
Oh
my gosh.
Okay, so are you freaking out that next week's the last week?
Yes. I'm more freaking out that it's your last time doing Gossip Girl, Roxy.
I know, me too. I'm completely bugging. And as you can tell, I'm in the weirdest mood tonight. It's just got me like, I'm going cray.
It's funny. It's
She's
funny.
going off the deep end.
But you, Roxy, you made such a good point. I was going to bring this up in this one or like the finale, but now that it's over, I just wonder how much it has gone off track from the books. Like how much different this show was
I
from
mean,
the book.
completely. And as a fan, do you wish that it stayed more on track, or are you okay with the fact that it completely strayed?
Well, did
Well,
anyone
I
read the
think-
books?
I think if it were like the books, then Chuck and Blair wouldn't be together. Because wasn't Chuck gay in the books?
Oh, really?
There was like undertones of it. I read it so long ago.
I heard he was. So I don't know. That's just
Uh-oh,
We should read the
Roxy.
books and then do an after show on them just to have more
compare and
Gossip Girl
contrast.
episodes, Phil.
We also
the
could do
heads up.
classic. You know, I know you guys are looking for a new show with Kevin. Kevin would love to start from season 1.
Of Gossip Girl?
Yeah.
What season did we start from?
4.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So we could hit
Season
it
1 through 4
old
were like the
school.
best seasons.
Yeah, I know. So we started right as its downfall. So anyway, what do you think about Serena moving to Los Angeles? Is this a big bluff, or are we like, be gone before somebody drops a house on you, motherfucker?
What is wrong with
Where
you?
did it come from? Where did this even come from? I don't understand.
I think she's talking to you,
It
Roxy.
came up.
It's just like all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they're scrambling so much to end the series that it's like, how do we get everybody out of New York so that we don't have to film anymore? Like literally, I think that's what's happening. But I guess we can get to the most important part of tonight's episode, which of course would be the big showdown between, of course, Chuck and the father. And it's on the rooftop.
Father.
And we're sitting there and we're like, and Bart's like, thank
Well,
you
let's
for...
talk about the return to the party, because that was
Yeah.
kind of
Oh,
nice.
I guess. I guess. Good
We
point.
have to build. We have to build.
Good point, Phil. Good
Yes.
man over there. Lonely Boy Poop 2.0. Very good work. So, anyway, basically, Dan quasi redeems himself, quasi, whatever, and he's like, the most inspiring man I know, Charles Bass. By the way, who forgot his name was Charles? I did.
I did too. I was like, that's not Bart's name.
I'm like, yeah, I know. I'm like, what is that? So anyway, I introduced him, and Chuck's like, my father tried to kill me tonight in his plane crash, and Bart excuses him and is like, you guys all know my son's on drugs, and everybody's like, oh, okay. Meanwhile, on the news, the plane did crash. Everybody could see the plane crashed,
But no one at the party besides in the back room knew that the plane crashed.
but there was no second thought about this at all. Everybody's like, oh, he's on drugs. Let's keep partying.
Yeah. Woo, cheers.
Susie, is this believable at all, or are we getting sick of Gossip Girl trying to make us seem stupid?
It was just so dramatic. It kind of like over dramatic in a way. Like I think I knew that Dan was going to introduce Chuck though, because I saw it from the pictures and like from the promo pictures or whatever.
Right.
So I think I already knew that. We already knew that Chuck wasn't going to die and Chuck wasn't going to do anything. But I wish people had actually believed Chuck. Like I wish Bart didn't come back on stage and was like, "Oh yeah, my son has a drug problem, blah blah blah, and he's getting help." Like
Yeah,
what?
Usually
No.
in those moments,
I don't.
when a character reveals something like that, again, it's supposed to be a big moment, and everybody is supposed to turn on that person, right? That's the
Well,
big
no-
reveal, and then
Normally, they also have some sort of evidence. Like,
Yeah,
I expected
instead
him
of
to
just
bring
being
forth
like-
some sort of like.
That's what I was expecting.
Play
Something
the
from the
TV station,
plane,
yeah.
or I don't know. I don't know.
And honestly, I would have been very okay with that moment if everybody been like, holy crap, look at this on TV. He did try to do this. Bart's going to jail for the rest of his life. I did not need him to die again off of a rooftop, hanging on for dear life. Oh my God, don't do this to me, Chuck. Because
I
then
hated this moment.
Because I didn't like it because it made Chuck, even though we didn't want him to be, it partially turned him into a villain.
Yeah, and you know, I know that Chuck and Bart have had their differences this past season, but at the end of the day, that's still his dad, and he showed no emotion really as he like watched his dad die.
Neither
and it
of
was
them
just like
did.
so odd to me. Yeah, it's
Blair
like
and Chuck both didn't move.
yeah.
some people just have to die.
She just says,
No.
let's get out of here. I'm like, honestly, I never could picture Chuck doing that. My Chucky poo, like, wow, that was weird. He
My
would,
Chucky
my, what's better, like Chucky baby bear? Chucky Honey Bunches.
Your husband. Just your husband,
You're right. I should just refer to him as what he actually is, my husband. My husband's like sitting there, and I could never picture him just letting his father die. I just think that no matter what, we need to make Chuck look like the hero, and then send his dad to jail or something. But he had a hand in killing his father.
And at least like have him, you know, consider it for like maybe like step forward and then step back so that we see some sort of attachment of the fact that they are father and son, you know? I don't know.
Or even try to save him and then he falls
slips,
or something.
And just to make it more dramatic, there was the whole thing with Chuck's phone, and he was recording it, and Bart grabs it, and it's like, duh, oldest trick in the book, bitches. Like, come on. I mean, do we think for 1 second that's how it was going to go down? I was going to be pissed if that's how Bart got caught by recording
with a
device.
recorder.
Like, let's be real. No way, right?
I did not like the whole rooftop scene. I thought it was over the top and just put Blair and Chuck in a horrible place and turned them into villains, as you said. And like even Bart, as he's hanging off the roof with like one hand, was like, "This isn't who you are." And that's when I expected him to change, and he didn't. He wasn't affected at all.
And
it was like a super brutal way to die, first off. And I feel like that's like the point where Gossip Girl goes into just like fantasy land and stops being believable, like this, you know, life that you want to vicariously live through these characters. And then now you're just like, what the hell?
And what about the fact that he falls off the rooftop and then it says, "To be continued, ... How about you have him hanging from the rooftop and then "To be continued"? Like he fell and
Do
he
we
died.
think he's not actually dead?
No, he is, because we see in previews next week the body, and they announce that he's dead. So it's like,
All right, well,
WTF?
But they
Is
announced
that
that he was
similar-
dead before.
Is it similar to like anytime you see a preview of like with Chuck getting on the airplane last week's preview, right? And like, oh my God, he's gonna die. That's just symbolic that he's not gonna die.
The preview is a reporter reporting that he's dead and him in a body bag. Like,
Well, they didn't necessarily say dead. They just said it is indeed Mr. Bart Bass.
yeah, but we also did spoilers that somebody was gonna die in that episode. So I don't know. I think he is dead. But anyway, Susie, before we move on to predictions and news and gossip and such, do you have any other comments you need to say about the episode? Because you're all dying inside.
Oh my gosh. Well, the music on the rooftop, that was just
That
like,
was insane.
It was like
I felt like I was
couldn't-
watching a
couldn't
thriller
even-
movie.
I don't know. I just have. It was just awful.
I just wanted
It
to
was
say, like,
so-
do less. Like, oh, they needed to just do less on tonight's episode. It could have been great, and the scheming thing was good, but the way he died and the whole thing, it's just like, is there any subtlety left to the show at all?
Yeah. You better settle as a truck.
No, nothing. Well, anyway.
And then can I just say real quick
course.
that I like discovered AFTERBUZZ and like this after show like a year and a few months ago when Gossip Girl, in my opinion, was like at its worst. And besides knowing that Chuck and Blair were gonna get back together like at the way end, one of the only reasons why I kept watching was so that I could listen to you guys talk about it.
Aww, make me cry.
And Susie
She
watched our
actually is
after
gonna
show.
start crying.
If you want to hear drunk Susie, listen
actually-
to our after show
Last
for Jersey
week.
Shore.
Yeah, maybe for Roxy's last Jersey Shore. But thank you so much for letting
Roxy
me
is
call.
you're making Roxy
You
cry.
just brought tears to
I think
Roxy's
it's because
eyes,
I just
Susie.
like finished my period, and this is my last Gossip Girl. Like, Susie's my favorite fan of all time.
TMI.
Emotional. Oh my God, we love you, Susie, and hopefully we'll pick up a
I
show.
love you guys too
Oh
so
my
much. You guys
gosh.
are the best. Thank you so much.
Thank you for calling in,
Thank you.
and both of us will call in next week for the finale. Oh my God. Okay, good night, Susie. Guys, this is a really big deal.
What do you mean
What
both
the-
of us will call into this?
I will, and Susie will. I won't be here.
Oh.
Guys.
I'm still.
Okay, we need to move on before I get really emotional.
Phil's ears
about
are
this.
burning.
I know. We need to. Okay, let's go to some.
I'm just happy we're in sync.
Guys, we need to news and gossip. Like, get me there.
TV
Jesus
news.
Christ. Okay, so we'll start with the fact that we already talked about Chase Crawford and the.
Are you okay?
Snap out of it, guys.
Come on.
Okay, Chase Crawford has been in talks with, and people are like, oh my God, he has to be Christian Grey in 50 Shades of Grey.
Grey.
I'm like one of the only females in the world who hasn't read it yet.
I haven't either.
I have. All 3.
Nice.
So you are not the exception to the
So
rule.
you're not the
Got it.
one of the only girls.
And Phil's like, I have 2.
I read it.
have. So anyway, at first it was like, ha ha, Chase Crawford, but now it's going to be a little more serious because while he's not the top runner, Cosmopolitan magazine did feature him as one of their 9 guys who should play Christian Grey, which is a really big deal. And the actor also made the ranks in IMDb's My Christian Grey nominees list. So,
What's the list?
I don't know. I'll
Who's
pull
at the
it-
top? Bradley Cooper?
No.
Ryan Gosling?
No, the guy. I know who's at the top, but I forget.
Who's at the top?
It's like all like mostly like dark-haired guys.
Like
Dark
Phil?
hair, green eyes.
Phil.
Well, I can't do that.
Do you want me to look it up while you read?
Yeah, go for it, girlie. Okay,
This is information we need.
so yeah, do that thing. Rock your shit. Shake your hips, something. I don't know. I'm like making a rap song as we go. So anyway, I'm gonna move on to some other news. But actually, before I do that, I know we haven't read it, but I would love to see him as any male ingenue. Is that what the character is? I'm assuming. I know that he's like an addicted S&M like CEO, crazy.
Yeah, but isn't he like, I don't know, I feel like he has to be a little more mature than
But we don't know what
looking
Chase
than-
Crawford's capable of.
Do you want to know the list?
Yeah, let's
No,
hear
I
this.
just wanted you to look it up.
Well, I'm
For no reason.
fine. No, Henry Cavill. He's the guy who's
Superman.
in
Superman?
Superman. He's too busy right now.
Matt Bomer.
Oh, he was great on
Oh,
Glee this
yeah.
season too. He's sexy.
He's also in White
Matt
Collar.
Bomber would be.
Right?
He's what?
He's in White Collar. isn't
Yeah, he is.
he? Ian Somerhalder.
No.
He's sexy though.
That's Vampire Diaries crap.
But
Now
I don't.
there's girls.
Girls?
For the girl role.
Oh, I was like,
Wait.
what?
Hey,
So,
that's it.
Diana Agron. Okay, well, anyway.
Isn't the girl like innocent? Like,
Wait, are we only picking
Charlize
from like
Theron.
CW? Are we restricted to the confines of
Well, I
CW?
just said Charlize Theron, so no. Phil, are you listening to my
Charlize,
shit?
isn't it like a young, innocent girl, like fresh out of college or something like
That's
that?
why you can't leave this to, as Kevin says here, civilians to decide who's going to be the actor, the leads, because people just are like that person's hot and a good actor, so that
Yeah.
should be the role. Like,
Okay, guys, I got the top 9 here.
All right, let's hear it.
oh my God, you're so much better than Sarah.
You told me to look up the IMDb version.
I'm kidding. Libby.
No, this is Cosmopolitan. It says number 1 is Ian Somerhalder. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I already
Okay.
said him.
Number 2 is Skip Ad, and then it's Alexander Skarsgård.
Okay.
That's
oh,
interesting.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
I've heard him in the mix before. Okay.
Then we have Matt Bomer.
I mean, I'm a True Blood
Okay.
fan, so I do
Yeah.
like him.
Going on, we have Chris Hemsworth.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Oh, yeah,
Thor.
Chris.
Thor.
Yeah,
Thor.
Thor.
We got Thor
I was
in the
thinking of
mix.
Brother
Liam.
to
I
Miley
was like,
Cyrus's
whoa.
husband.
Okay.
Then we got Ryan Gosling at number 5.
Okay. That's a good choice.
I
Someone
thought
saw
Ryan
that
was at the
coming.
top.
Who else?
Number 6 is going to be Chase Crawford.
Okay. These numbers. Okay.
That's who we're talking about. That's
So
not
he's
Nate.
middle.
Number 7 is Colin Egglesfield.
Okay.
Oh, he's too sweet.
Which one is that?
He was in that movie that was after the book, Something Borrowed, Something Blue. He's in Something Borrowed.
Oh, I know
He-
which
yeah.
which book you're talking about.
Okay.
And
what do we got for 8 and 9?
Oh my God.
number 8, we have the lead of Star Trek. We have Mr. Chris Pine.
Ooh,
Okay.
I love Chris Pine.
And last but not least, I guess least for number 9 is William Levy.
Really? William Levy from
Interesting.
Dancing with the Stars?
That's what I said for,
All
I
over
guess,
the board.
least.
Oh my gosh, I don't know about
So
that
Chase
one.
Crawford on this IMDb thing is number 27.
But there's like 5 lists on IMDb. There's like a bunch
There's
of
a
different
ton of
ones.
lists everywhere.
Some of these are really weird and keeping up with the CW thing, Trevor Donovan. Anyway, we can move on to our next piece of news and gossip. We already talked about Penn Badgley's film, which is the Tim Buckley one. So anyway, Tribeca Film and Focus World have picked up Greetings from Tim Buckley, and it will be released theatrically next year. So
Congrats.
It already was debuted at the Toronto Film Festival this year, and it's about Jeff Buckley in the days leading up to his 1991 tribute concert. And Badgley plays the younger Buckley who shot to fame in 1990s before drowning in Tennessee's Wolf River in 97.
Jeez.
So anyway, we're going to have to be on the lookout
Stay
for that.
tuned.
So our last piece of news and gossip isn't a piece of news and gossip at all, but it actually is. Can I speak English? Nope. Everybody knows when I get words in front of me, I'm like, illiterate, but I will try my best. So these are what were deemed to be Gossip Girl's best advice of each season. Season 1. One good scandal deserves another.
Excellent.
Thank you for that.
Let's get a drum roll on the last one.
Number 2 and the longest one, so stick with me while I stumble. Some endings take a long time to reveal themselves, but when they do, they're almost too easy to ignore. Some beginnings start too quietly. You don't even notice they're happening, but most endings come when you least expect them. And what they portend is darker than you've ever imagined. Not all beginnings are cause for celebration. A lot of bad things begin. Fights, flu season, and the worst thing of all, want to be starting something.
I'm so confused.
Can we have Sarah read these? You do have a friend.
The other ones are shorter, guys. Whatever.
You lost us at some beginnings.
Basically, there's some beginnings that are bad, some beginnings that are good, some beginnings that take a long time, some beginnings that...
Okay, that's what was confusing.
Beginnings and ends. That's what you
Season
get.
3. Phil should go F himself.
Oh, I remember that one.
Oh, that was a good
I think I
season.
remember that voiceover.
Okay, season 3. Forget the grand entrance. Everyone knows it's the exit they'll remember.
That's
You're starting
right.
to sound like her.
Ooh,
That was total
That's a good
Gossip
one.
Girl
I like that
voice.
one.
Season 4. They say love is the best medicine, unless you don't take it.
I don't like
That's
that
a
one.
good one.
No. 1 and 3 were much
All
better.
right, can we get the drum roll on this one?
I'm sure 2 is good if I could have
we
understood
don't have a
it.
season 6, so this is season 5. The last one. Kama said that life is a sum of your choices. Choose wisely, and fortune smiles upon you. But choose poorly, you never know what price you'll have to pay. I tried.
Thank you, Roxy.
So anyway, I just thought that was some good advice to leave you on. The one that sounds most like Gossip Girl, though, and most true to her, is season 1. One good scandal deserves another. Where is that Gossip Girl? I freaking miss that chick.
She's going to be revealed in about
I
less than a
know,
week.
and we can talk about that right now for prediction.
AfterBuzz TV News.
Okay, so first we'll talk about what we.
My bad. I hit the wrong button.
Do you want to know something I didn't even notice?
You're
I was
infecting.
so confused.
Poor Steven has caught your disease
I know.
of just whatever the hell you got tonight.
What's like a word for a disease?
You're contagious.
ABTVD.
Virus.
Yeah, there you go.
Like instead
All
of
right.
STD and ABTVD.
ABTVD.
So I made an observation that Gossip Girl was not featured heavily in tonight's episode.
And I told you why.
So let's talk
Which
about
is
this.
the exact reason. No, we're gonna get there. We're not there yet.
Where are we?
That's our last prediction.
Then
We're
what the-
talking about.
Come on, Phil.
We're talking about what we saw.
Wait, did she even have an ending thing?
No.
It was just to be continued. She didn't even say it. So we're just right now. We're just
snap.
right now. We're just talking about what we saw in scenes from next week, guys. Because then we're gonna get into what he was just talking about. So Chuck is wanted for questioning,
No,
and
duh.
he's fled to his uncle's with
Jack?
Probably.
Jack. And Jack
Which is
like,
probably
"Everybody's
really
looking
going to
for you."
help the
I know.
situation.
Great idea, Chuck.
Serena stays in town because she needs to know about Dan.
She finds the thing probably.
The envelope that Dan
Which is
so
probably-
secretively left in her luggage.
Which is definitely the final chapter, which we'll talk about in
and
a
it's
minute.
probably also his like nice writing about her.
Yes, that's true.
That's great, but that's not in the public eye. Way to be, Dan. Way to be an asshole.
Phil, you're supposed to be on Dan's side.
No, why don't I publish the shitty version of you guys of like, but I'll email you the nice version just so you know that I do
Just
like
don't
you guys.
show anyone.
I wish I could read my own writing, but this says, it was a quote, "You've had power to reveal Lasting's proposal."
Next.
I really lost it there. The next one is Ivy to William saying, "You're the devil," and shoving him.
Yes.
And then Chuck's being arrested at his wedding to Blair.
And Chuck proposes.
Maybe that's what
he
meant by
already
proposal.
technically proposed already.
Really, I don't know what that said. So anyway, that's what we saw in scenes for next week. Now we know there are flashbacks, flash forwards,
It's a 2-hour episode.
flashback, flash forward, 2 weddings featured, and we know that Eric, Juliet, Lil J, all coming back.
Wait, who's Juliet?
Juliet,
Juliet, the one. How do
I
you
don't even
describe
describe her.
Juliet?
Who
She
plays
was
her?
a schemer who
she's
like
played
tried.
by-
She like drugged Serena.
What's her name? She's
Yeah, Lil J.
Oh,
No,
Oh,
No.
Julia. Okay. Yeah,
no, I know you're talking about Cassidy.
Cassidy.
Yeah.
Yes, that's it. And she's coming back, and she was actually spotted on set, and pictures were released of her this week.
Oh, I did not
And
like
she's
her.
looking good, girl. But anyway, they're all coming back, and that's what's happening next week. The big thing is we find out who Gossip Girl is, and this is what the phone call at 2:30 in the morning was about. This is what the phone call. This is what the text message was about. This is what your question to me was. Why isn't Gossip Girl been here really? Because Gossip Girl has been busy being a boy writing the final chapter. Because Gossip Girl boy is. Do you guys want to say it on the count of 3?
I'm not sure if it's true.
1,
2, 3.
Lonely boy.
Lonely boy.
I didn't
Okay.
believe it until I saw the previews for next week.
Number 1, it was foreshadowing tonight when Serena says, "You're worse than Gossip Girl" to Dan.
And he didn't say anything back.
Number 2, Number 2, she was saying you've been able to reveal who Gossip Girl was this whole time, and he's like, now you get why I haven't. So that's number 2. Number 3, that's why he's writing the final chapter and what it's about. Number 4, that's why he knows everything and was able to do inside and inside out. That's what she said. What up? Number 5, like we were saying, if you look back from the very beginning, it probably wouldn't have made sense. But
nothing makes sense anymore this season.
it was the only option if we wanted to know who Gossip Girl was. But I thought that's one secret she would never tell.
That's true. I guess I could.
Maybe she won't tell. Maybe she gets discovered, or he.
By Nate. And Nate's now on the search. I could live without knowing who Gossip Girl was. I really could.
No, I want to know.
I'm just not going to watch next week.
The thing is, I'd only want to know to see how they fixed it and like make them come up with someone. But I don't really care. I just want them to tell me someone. Does that make any sense?
I just feel like no matter who they choose, it's not going to make sense because we're all going to keep going back and back to the previous episodes like, no, but then they wouldn't have done this and they wouldn't have done that. And
that's true.
That's why we're going to do Gossip Girl classics and try to find the mystery.
So we can look forward to that. You could
look for all the signs.
Also look forward to us most of us being here next week. I will not be here, but I will be calling in. But until then, how can we reach you guys? Hashtag Sarah Got Twitter. We know.
Find me on Twitter at I am Jessica King.
On Revenge After Shows here on AFTERBUZZ TV.
At Roxy Striar, and we're all going to be looking for new shows. So tweet at us and let us know what the hell you want us to do. I mean, we're hurting here. All of us hosts, us 3 female hosts, are like, we're drowning a little bit with not knowing what shows. So let us know what you love, and we will cover it for you. Until next week, when you'll see everybody else except for me, when you'll hear my voice. Oh my God! I can't believe last XOXO.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff. We would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.